And welcome back to Mid-Valley Mutations here on KMUZ. And you've been hearing all sorts of fun stuff, including Electric Cello by Derek Gavin Johnson. We had an excerpt from an old episode of What's This Called from 2005, followed up with Uneasy Chairs, bringing you Laundry Room 2 from the Alexander Hamilton release. And then during Ricardo Wang's conversation, we had Fishkopf Sinfoniker performing live on What's This Called? September 27th, 2014. And then Miserable Mono Keys with an excerpt from their Jamaisa suite. And that's just a sampling of some of the artists that you're going to be hearing at the Olympia Experimental Music Festival coming up later on this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to talk a little bit about...
and once again, Ryan and I were in the van, and I don't normally get to be in the van when I'm on the radio.
Oh, excellent.
Cool. And while in the van, doing our van thing, so we had the speakerphone on my phone, and then his phone was playing where he was listening to the show already. So once again, we had the delay remix.
Man, I want to hear your version of the show.
Fishkopf, like nobody will ever hear him.
Well, and that's
in the van with a 2-phone remix.
That is the goal of Mid-Valley Mutations. Is we want everybody to.
Yeah, you've taken the valley all the way over here to North Portland.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. So yeah, we're listening to a little bit of LA Lungs right now in the background. Cool. This is also from a live performance on What's This Called?
Man, and they get more and more confusing just by being pretty mellow and not not doing anything but existing. But I mean, first they were LA Lungs from Tacoma, and that was a little odd. They weren't from LA; they were from Tacoma, but you could figure that out. But now they're LA Lungs from Olympia, formerly from Tacoma.
Nice. Just get the nice and confusing town place names out of the way up front.
Yeah.
And then, you can just get onto the mellow, awesome music. So,
LA and Tacoma share a lot of smog.
That's true.
And then Olympia and Tacoma kind of share the Northwest thing, but Olympia and LA, well, I guess the punk rock thing, so it's kind of a triangle.
A little bit.
No, they're going to be playing at the festival out in the park at the very, they are really going to, that day, all of the groups playing, which is Sunday the 26th, are from Olympia, Washington. In some respect, there might be a member that's from somewhere else that's joined, or they may have moved or something. But they're all people who really paid their dues in Olympia and done really great, music on pushing the boundaries. Nice. All the artists from both at the Artesian Well show and later at the Brotherhood lounge show that night. Nice. And among them, LA Lungs are playing and the idea of hearing their really echoey, atmospheric stuff out there in the sunlight at the Artesian Well, I mean, it's going to be cool. You don't want to miss that.
Yeah, I know.
And it's free.
Yeah.
This is the free all ages thing at the festival, and it's the first time in 22 years of festivals that we've ever done a free outdoor show.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Actually, this is a good point. You guys have been doing this for 22 years, and you've been involved with, all of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And
this is, it's funny. I was talking to an ex-girlfriend some time back about the paths we'd followed in our lives and how, but what I've kind of proved is what you can achieve by not really going anywhere. Because she'd achieved all this stuff by going places, and so had done these different things in different places. But me, although promoting doing things in different ways as much as possible, I haven't really moved from anywhere other than I've lived in Bellingham to to Portland, basically. I just, up and down I-5. But in doing that, it's allowed me to, be involved with some things for a long time here, I guess.
Yeah.
And the festival's kind of the big one. It's like I usually don't want to go somewhere else in that time of the summer. So
yeah, and
it never really have. I've not, I haven't booked every one of them or anything. I haven't watched every set, but every year I've at least played it and watched one night, and many years got really involved and watched the whole thing and helped put it on. And
yeah, well, this is a good point too.
20th was the last one that I kind of took the full reins and like booked everything. And
well, as somebody who's doing this, like, we could go on and on about all the artists, but probably a better idea would be to go to a website where we have like the full schedule, because like there's tons of stuff happening. So how would we find more info about all this?
Well, the Facebook page is pretty accessible if you just look up Olympia experimental music, and if you just Google it. I mean, we don't have a catchy website that I'm going to point out that's the easiest. And also another thing that's really important is the festival is funded entirely by support from people coming to the festival or making a donation online. And so if people want to go to our Indiegogo page, it really helps pay the artists.
Yeah, that's the page I was trying to...
This festival has had a long tradition of trying really hard to pay the artists what they're worth in a musical environment where you're not treated like you're worth what you are. It's like if you play experimental music, you're kind of used to, you can play on Tuesday and, we'll give you a drink ticket.
Right.
And sometimes they're really super talented people that are suffering through that. And, we've tried with this festival to always do the artists pretty well and give them a reasonable stipend, at least cover their gas money. And there have been years that have been slimmer than others where it came down to just the gas money thing.
Right.
But we've always at least done that. It's like, and some years the Olympiacs didn't get paid, but worked to make money so that the people from out of town would get paid. But and the people putting on the festival don't get paid at all. So if people want to chip in to keep that kind of thing going, that'd be really helpful. And then go to the Indiegogo page, and we'd love that. And again, if you go to Indiegogo and just look at Olympia experimental music, you'll find it.
And I'll put some links in on the show notes for this episode, but you should definitely go to that Indiegogo page. Support that. It goes to helping make these events happen, because 22 years, there's a lot of costs that come up in that time.
Yeah. Well, like this year, we're doing this outdoor thing for the first time, and you have to actually have insurance to do that. So buy the insurance. And once you paid it, you're not getting it back.
Right. No, it's funny because
meanwhile, is we want to the main thing is just we want to pay the artists and not have the idea that just because you're performing a festival that you should be working for free.
Right. Yeah. Exposure shouldn't be all you get. Yeah. No.
Well, live music, the only place an artist can make any money anymore. So they can't sell recordings. That's for sure.
Totally. Well, before we leave this subject, we do want to go over a couple things. So, it mentions a couple of the performers that you're really excited about for the festival, and then give us some dates and times and places.
Okay. Well, I don't have in front of me the full lineup of the new group that's playing at the Brotherhood Creaturing, but that is Rachel from Kicking Giant and the Needs supergroup she put together for me. The Need were supposed to play.
Yeah, they unfortunately had to cancel.
It's been a crazy year for that. I mean, this has been the year that the Replicants had to cancel, so we replaced them with Mac Dog, who is an old Olympia stalwart and well worth the spot, well worth checking out, and great person to have do it. But there was a big change, and then the Need told me they canceled, and I was like, oh my god. But then Rachel kind of on the rebound put together the supergroup Creaturing, and there's like 4 different women that are have all really paid their dues in all kinds of bands in Olympia, doing this improvisational thing that just sounds totally cool. And she's the other better known name that's in the group is Greta Jane Peterson, who is in Romantique and does a really great jazz lounge kind of Nico-esque sort of vocal thing. I don't know if that's what she'll be doing, because that's the beauty of brilliant people, is they may do something totally different than anything I say.
Yeah, that's the beauty of these shows, is that it could be anything.
But they're playing the last set of the festival, and I just think it's really cool that we have like 4 to 5 really super talented females closing out the festival this year.
Absolutely.
And earlier in the festival, we also have Amy Denial playing with Emily Hay, 2 just incredible women that have played in that duet at the festival one time in the past, and it was amazing. And and then we've got Cyclops Psycho playing at the Well. So we've got a really lot of strong female artists this year, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a cool lineup.
And especially because we just, it wasn't like some kind of quota we set or anything. We just have been trying to be open-minded about encouraging people to play and getting the best people. And that this year, it's really quite gender balanced. It's cool.
Yeah. So is there what dates and what locations are we going to be seeing some shows at?
It's the 24th through the 26th, and
of
I don't have you guys.
August?
If you got a computer in front of you, I'm actually out in my yard currently. So
is it in August or July?
It's in June.
June. This month.
Yeah, 24th through 26th.
Got it.
Which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The 24th, I believe, the opening night is at Obsidian, which is a newer place in Olympia that wasn't around back in the day when I was there, but it's quite popular right now. It's kind of a goth kind of club scene place, and so it's back in the back room there, and that's a 21 and over thing. And then the 25th is at Le Voyeur, and I don't know the lineup on these nights off the top of my head well enough to rattle off who's playing.
That's fine. The venues are good to know just offhand in case you've been there and you know what to expect.
Yeah, and then the 26th are 2 shows that are the ones that I booked personally, and so I can go on about them. But I feel almost unfair to Fred because he's got some incredible talent on his nights too.
Right.
And that's the show like 4:30 at the Artesian Well in the heart of downtown Olympia. And that's the one the Dead Air Fresheners will be playing as well. It's Cyclops Psycho, L.A. Lungs, Dead Air Fresheners, and Liquid Letters, which is China Star's solo group that sounds just amazing. Cool. She also plays a lot with Harrington. And what else? And then there's the big show, The Brotherhood, to close things out with.
Yeah.
Featuring who I already described, and Malaise and Mac Dog. And
totally. Well, we'll definitely put some links in so people can know what all those are and where those kinds of things are. But yeah, this is just one of the many things that you do, the Experimental Music Festival every year. It's kind of an offshoot of What's This Called, but it's also kind of an offshoot of many things.
Yeah, no, I guess it is in a way. It's connected to What's This Called, because I was doing What's This Called when I started it in Olympia. So What's This Called comes first. But the Experimental Music Fest, from the beginning, really kind of created itself, because I just really, what happened is this guy, Phil Gelb, who's a flute player, although now he seems like he's more centered on being a chef, but he plays flute and electronics and really cool, mellow, sort of spacey stuff, and he contacted me about wanting to play a show in Olympia. And at the time, Olympia was just, it was yo-yo go-go time. Olympia was so famous for being punk rock, and I was just like, how can I make this work? How can I do a show with somebody playing like flute music and make people want to come and make it, and so I thought, well, maybe if my band played and we did some kind of experimental show and just kind of put it that way. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll post something on this group that I'm in, this email mailing list I'm on about new music, and see if anybody wants to play. And, this was the dawn of that sort of thing, and all these people were like, yes, we want to play. And like, suddenly the show had turned into 2 nights worth of stuff, and like just almost immediately. And it was like all these great people showed up to play from Canada and San Francisco and really people I hadn't even really heard of that much at the time. Many who were still favorite artists I have today.
Sure.
And really, everybody just sat there and watched everybody else play. And the other thing was, at that time, Mark Hoffler was living from Negativland, was living in Olympia, and was a friend of mine. So I got him to play the first festival, and sort of had a little bit of a name too.
Yeah.
But it just it just kind of wrote itself. Somebody else could have sent that initial email and had it happen to them, and it probably would have.
Yeah.
And it was so fun the first time. You do it the second time, and
right.
And from the beginning, there have always been other people that have taken and run with it, and
you get a little momentum.
Thank God, or it wouldn't, because it wouldn't still be going if it was supposed to be up to me.
Sure. Well, let's we're getting some good momentum here, and we got a world premiere track coming up here in a moment. So I don't want to lose that. But we got to get to the weather and a few other things here. So you want to stick around, and then
get out those snowshoes.
Yeah, stick around, because we'll be bringing you some more stuff here after this.
Because the weather's full of surprises.